Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good Wednesday in the stock market, September 15th. Halfway through September already. This is crazy. I thought the world was going to be on fire by mid-September. Oh well. We're going to talk about the SPY, the overall market. If this is the rally like we've had a previous on SPY, some technical analysis we'll go over, Gamestop, options, what I think's going on with Gamestop, and some new DD I saw on computer share. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Here is the DD we'll go over in a minute, and then here's our Twitter if you want to follow us on. It's at Happy Money YT. We have a Discord also you can get on. It is in the description. Yeah, today epic rally on the SPY. So we're looking basically at this moving average and these trend lines, and it's basically bounced off it for a long time. The difference though, so we'll see. It could be just doing the same thing where SPY calls new all-time highs in a few days, maybe a week. A few differences just with the price action, much less so that it's September and the Evergrande and China and all that stuff going on, as well as all the other catalysts. External events, it's different this time than it was here and here and here, as well as this chart. These long-bodied candles are much different than we had on all of these, right? And these all hit the bottom and then they bounced. What we see here is long-bodied candles after these small-bodied candles up here, which is indicative of a top as well. So we have these small-bodied up here, signs of reversal. Of course, we've got a bearish MACD now. We've got red under the 9, just like we had here and here. But this is a little different. It's a slower drop for one, where it kind of hit a top and slowed down and consolidated and then dropped. Wow, this is so laggy. So that's one thing. As you see, these longer bodied candles, it didn't just gap down, it just slowly melted down for days. It's been kind of crazy watching the SPY just melt. So gap up in the morning and then melt down all day, and we've had that multiple days now. There is a sign of reversal though. We've got this RSI divergence as well as MACD divergence down here, and that's where we're seeing this bounce. I think that's what this bounce is probably from, on the hourly at least. So I got calls on it. We'll go over the options. We made a little bit on the calls. However, I'm not sure if this is gonna keep going because of those reasons I said, and then also the fact that it's using this and it's not bouncing off of it. We just kind of have these two candles back and forth, back together, back to back on the daily, which you're seeing right here. To me, it's not reversed yet, in my opinion. It's definitely still bearish. Today's bounce, I think, definitely could be a dead cat bounce because we were way oversold on the hourly, and we need some breathing room to be able to continue this down. So I'm kind of thinking, again, it could be something like this, but this price action is different, and that's why I'm kind of thinking it's not that, along with the other external factors going on. But I'm kind of thinking we had this big bounce today. I think probably consolidation maybe for a couple days, and then continues on and breaks through this trend line. So maybe another day or so of kind of flat, maybe a little bit up, but not anything like this. I think we'll kind of hang out, and then as it breaks down, then we'll have a pretty violent drop after it crosses that kind of support line. I'm thinking probably down to this 422 support initially for support. Excuse me. And that could be as fast as a day or two, or maybe a week, but I think it'll get there pretty quick, and then probably continue on down to this like 400 range. There's a gap to fill down here too, a couple gaps to fill in the way. There's a big one though. But it's too early to tell, basically, in my opinion, if this is a bounce off the support line like we had here and here and here. So it could be, and tomorrow we should see a big rally if it is. Pretty much like all the other times we saw big rallies off of that support, gapping up, If it gaps up pre-market and then kind of starts to sell off, that's not it. But if it if it stays pretty flat, this is not going to do another crazy all-time high, I don't think. This is just consolidating before more downturn, because the price action here was getting so far from the 9 moving average too. You know, after it gets so far, it has to kind of relief rally up a little bit back to kind of a more solid ground, as you can see here on the RSI. So enough on the SPY. We'll go over the options plays I did on that. GameStop, I think actually we are going to consolidate until Friday. I said that yesterday. I was like, wait a minute. If this sign's bearish, that sign's bullish, that time frame is bearish, and it's just like they're all conflicting. That's like 2 things going into one is going to just make it go flat, right? So yeah, I think that's why we're just going to consolidate. We might have a little volatility, but max pain on GME this week is also 200. So I think we're going to consolidate. I don't see any signs of rollover, that it still needs to happen, and that honestly is good news for me. As far as it being, some people brought up, well, then you'd think Tuesday, because 2 days of settlement. You'd think Tuesday would be crazy. It might be. Next week might be crazy. But I'm not sure yet, because as far as futures and that kind of settlement, I asked Cog, and he said he thinks it's same day. I'm not certain on the 2-day settlement for futures and derivatives. So yeah, next week could be crazy though. As far as TA though, I mean, we're still bearish. MACD is still bearish. We still have red under the 9 moving average. Our price action the last 4 days has been bullish, as we've been making higher lows and kind of higher highs. But all in all, the momentum is still bearish. On the hourly, just the same kind of bullish move. I thought maybe we'd make higher highs today or tomorrow, and then higher lows, and that would probably flip our daily MACD to bullish. But I'm not sure we're going to do that. I think we're going to kind of consolidate and see some swings like we did this morning. We saw 193 up to 203, like a $10 move, which is pretty cool. Probably fill in this gap at some point. But what this looks like a lot to me is, unfortunately, and I still think next week could be crazy. Just because of everything going on. I think the market probably will be crashing. And GME will probably start getting shorts covering. But at any rate, the TA I'm thinking looks similar to back here. We had our earnings. They dumped it on earnings, hit a huge rally after earnings. And then the whole time was bearish MACD on the daily. And it kind of consolidated. Went up for a few days, even like 3-4 days went up, consolidated, then went down. It's kind of just consolidating and slowly just melted down. And this was kind of the beginning of that meltdown for a couple months. So I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to happen, but our price action looks very similar to this right here. Back in March, after earnings, had the rally. Now let's look here, show what I'm talking about. This was a bigger rally. Big rally. Earnings, it dumped. Rally. Right? So this is, it's not that first rally, it's this right here. So dump, rally, some consolidation. So yeah, I'm thinking it looks like that, and the fact that the MACD is still bearish is kind of making me think we're gonna keep we're gonna keep melting down unless we get a solid upward bullish day that kind of flips this momentum, these moving average convergence, divergence indicators. But all in all, I mean, it's good. There's a nice time to sell premium and hold shares. Nice little plus 2.5% day today. I had covered calls. I went in and out of them a couple times. Scared to hold covered calls overnight. Probably shouldn't do that. Did a lot of little flips today on. So I'd sell calls on my shares and I'd buy them back, and I didn't quite time the bottom because I was like, I'll just hold these things. And then later in the day, I was like, well, maybe they are rolling over, because we had this crazy kind of rally right here. If I was just thinking about short-term flipping them, I would have closed them here up. I was up like 40% on the covered calls, which wasn't bad. I didn't close them out till like up here, even though I knew it was late. I was like, I'm gonna close them, and I did, and it did this, but then it did this whole rally. So glad I closed them. I haven't opened them back up. I guess on the hourly it's still bullish, so if it starts to break, if it breaks through one of these resistances like 206, 209, then I think we could definitely rip. and then I do not want to be shorting a call. But then I go back to the daily, I'm like, well, this thing's just going to consolidate and close at max pain. So TA on it is a little bit, it's not a clear direction for me. But here's what we did. Wow. Bought SPY calls in the morning, sold them pretty quick. I think that was like 80%. Bought more calls, closed my MVST debit spread for a loss. This is me closing my covered calls, and then I opened up more covered calls, and then I closed them back again. Then I closed my SPY call. So we did all right on SPY today. The casino gave back a little bit. I opened up bullish plays on Hood just from the chart. Oh wow, those are up. Yeah, this one's up 45% just today. That's pretty crazy. So I went to open up. I looked at the chart. Shout out. I think it was it Hank? What's his name? Huck. He always changes the name. I went, or he shouted out and he said, Hood, check out Hood. Oh look, GME's popping. We've got 30 minutes to close. He shouted out Hood and said, look at Hood's chart, and I did, and I was like, oh, it looks really nice. That was before it set up that whole bull flag. I looked at it like right here. I was like, oh yeah, it looks nice on the 5 minute. I mean, I wanted to look at the hourly to see kind of longer range, longer time frame. I see we've got a RSI divergence right here. Like, okay, that's a bullish, as well as the MACD divergence. It's a bullish reversal signal. And then on the hourly, I was like, this is actually a nice time because it had its big rally, bunch of premium in there that would have been crushed right here, and it was right about here. So I was like, I'll get in. And then when I was getting in, I noticed it said hard to borrow on my brokerage, which most brokerages probably say that. This thing's rallying now. Sick. So hard to borrow means just that. It's hard to borrow, hard to short. So then I was like, okay, next thing I do, if I see that, is I look up on, we only have limited data. So I just look up on iBorrowDesk and I typed in Hood and I was like, wow, okay. So their fee is 92.6% and they have basically zero shares left. So, could be setting up a little short squeeze here. But the fact that the chart's bullish and now it's this expensive and difficult to hold a short position, I'm like, yeah, I'll go on that. So I didn't go crazy, but did get some exposure. On the daily, this chart it's still in a bearish trend, but that's because it's had all this momentum coming down from $70, $85. But you still can kind of see this little RSI divergence here, even on the daily. It's a little more subtle, but this thing could rally. I opened up a put credit spread, which is a premium sell, and I used some of that premium to buy long calls. So let's see, the put credit spread is a 40-41 put credit spread. So it was actually just right over the strike. It was at like 40.5 at that point. So this one is, it was 50%. It was like 50% probability for max profit, about 50%. And it was 550 max profit, 550 max loss. So that's basically how that works. And Hood has to close above, I guess, 41 for max profit expiration, I think. Yeah. So that one will give $550 of credit, and then I opened up calls just to get some more volatile exposure if it does kind of have a bit of a squeeze. Because the premium sell, you're capped on your gains. So yeah, if you think there's going to be a violent move, then you can just do naked calls, and that's what I did here. So this has, of course, infinite upside potential. These are 44 strike for next Friday. So not a whole lot of time really at all. 44 strikes, pretty high, but this stock has been pretty explosive. So we'll see what happens with that. So far it's playing out very nicely. It had set up this nice bull flag, and now it's starting to rally. So I think it's good. That one I maybe should have gone bigger on, but I guess that's hindsight. Hood SPY about to open. I think I still have SPY calls or puts or something. Let's see what. Yeah, I bought puts and I should have done a call credit spread. But that being said, I think SPY actually started rallying again. I was just playing the charts. Yep, it kept rallying. So it turned bearish here. I could have done a call credit spread, but I got puts, and now we're making new highs. So well done, SPY. Well done. I'm gonna wait on positions. I think again, probably some consolidation and then a full drop through that trend line. I did open up shop put, or Confluence ripping today also. This thing's crazy. So yeah, I mean this hasn't slowed up at all. Just bull flag, big rally. I guess it got a price target today from an analyst at 61, so it decided to rip to almost 70. And it's just been pinned on this RSI kind of right near the top. So this, I don't know, I mean, according to the fibs, like this thing can go up to 78. That'd kind of be the next level. I thought it would consolidate here on using this 63 as support longer, but I'm not sure now. Might just keep rallying. So today is the last day for some of the insiders to sell. They have windows of time when they can sell their shares, and today is the last day. They had like a month basically to sell their shares, and today's the last day until the next time is in February. So basically they're locked into their shares, those that work for the company or whatever, and have profit sharing through shares or get paid through shares. So yeah, that's a big day for that. But I bought puts on Shopify, pretty expensive. On the daily chart, head and shoulders, shoulder, head. We've got a bearish MACD crossover, and I think this will probably come down with the overall market in the next couple weeks. So these are expensive, but I did get them in this because this was a good day to get it, since it had a little rally here, little dead cat bounce rally. Might rally a little bit more back up to this trend line before it kind of keeps coming down. But those puts are, let's see, here we are, 1330 puts for October 1st. So these cost actually $750. I picked that price. I wanted to get closer to the money, but they were like $1,300 ones I wanted, and then I just was like, I'm gonna go further. So 1330, it's right here. So I kind of expect it to kind of come down to at least this 1300 support. If it does make a pretty big correction with the market and back down to this 180 moving average. So yeah, those should do well, because 1,000% on $1,000 contract is much better than 1,000% on $100 contract. Not to say it's going to be 1,000%er, but playing with bigger contracts. I only got one. That's all I really need as far as exposure to that. And I think that's pretty much all the plays we did today. GME were up, Hood were up today. Oh, BBIG. I maybe need to look at BBIG. I forgot I even had that anymore. Oh yeah, it says covered call. That's what's nice about covered calls, man. So we're down more on it just because the shares, but our calls are almost fully max profit. So I could roll down the covered call, which is definitely a way to do it. I'd like to sell it into premium, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna wait because this thing actually could rally again. You see, this MACD hasn't crushed bearish, and we do have, might not, but it looks like it could be setting up kind of a support here. In a sense, it's kind of a bull flag too, more on the weekly. I'm not sure. We've got price action underneath the 9 moving average. MACD isn't bearish yet. It looks like the RSI is just settling down, and then today actually might have been kind of setting up a floor. We'll see. So what is that actually? So what I'm going to do, I will actually close out of the covered call, or I could roll it, since today is an up day. That's interesting. These expire soon. What's the 11.5? I really don't see it going to 11.5, but I'll actually leave it. How much do I have left on it? 264, 290, 40. Yeah, I'll just leave it because I'm fine if it calls away my shares. So I'll leave that one for now. Let's look at the market real quick before we salud. Wow, SPY's still ripping. GME, one reason why I don't think it's going to break out also right now is just because it's been following the SPY pretty much. When we had that good price action the other day, it was inversing the SPY. This day, I think this day too, maybe 824. No, that was way long ago. This day, and now it's not inversing the SPY. But if the SPY starts to tank and it holds up and then starts to inverse, yeah, I'll probably be getting some calls on GME. I've sold out of pretty much everything on there. So I got for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Peace out.